Hey everyone, so today we are going to talk about successive differentiation. So first we will try to understand the concept. After that we will take some basic and simple example and then we will go to the general example. Okay, so that's how we are planning to do this session. Okay, so what do you mean by successive differentiation? Well, the name itself suggests what the concept is. So suppose if you have a function, say y is equal to f of x. So y is some function of x. Then what you do is you take its first derivative, which I call as y dash or f dash of x. Successive means what? You take the derivatives consecutively. So this is y dash. What will be the next? It will be y double dash. So this is the second derivative of function and this is the first derivative of y dash. This is f double dash of x. Then you take third derivative, fourth derivative. In general, you take the nth derivative of the function. How do you represent nth derivative of a function? You write n in the bracket. Okay. If you don't put bracket, that means you are taking the composition of the function n times. Okay. So just to differentiate with that notion, we put bracket so that this is nothing but the nth derivative for a given function. So these are the notations you have seen. Or other notation I think you must have seen is d of y, d2 of y, up to dn of y. These are the other notations that you might have seen. Some other notations are like dy by dx, then d2y by dx square, up to dny upon dx raised to n. So these are the other notations you have seen. But in successive differentiation, we use little bit of different notation just for the convenience, because when we play with the general example, we will see how the general example looks like. That time these notations will help you. Which notations? So since this is my y, y1, y suffix 1 will represent the first derivative of y. Y suffix 2 means it is the second derivative of y. Y suffix 3 means is the third derivative of y. And y suffix n means it is the nth derivative of y. So in successive differentiation, we are going to use this as the notations. Okay, so don't get confused if you see such a thing. What is y suffix 2, y suffix 3 and so on. They simply represent the order of the derivative for the given function. Okay, so that's about successive differentiation. Now let us go for some examples. So here is the first simplest polynomial example. It is x cube minus 3x square plus 2x plus 1. So y1 means what? You are taking the first derivative. You have to find the successive derivatives for this function. So what is y1, which is the first derivative? 3x square minus 6x plus 2. What will be my y2, which is the second derivative? It will be 6x minus 6. What will be y3, which is the third derivative? What will be y4? 0. And if you take y5 and so on, so in general, yn is 0 for n greater equal 4. So all the higher derivatives whose order is greater equal 4, then the derivatives are 0. Until y3, the third order derivative, they are non-zero. So this is how one can find the successive derivative, or one can do the successive differentiation. Now one can ask, is this always the case? That means for every function, does there exist a stage such that after that stage the derivatives are always 0? Answer is no. For polynomial it is true that if you have a polynomial of degree 3 in this case, then fourth order derivative onwards everything is 0. If you have polynomial of degree 100, then from 101 onwards all the derivative will be 0. Okay, so if you have a polynomial of degree n, then you take any derivative of order n plus 1 or more, then that will always be 0. So for polynomials and other functions it might be true, but this is not always true. Okay, this is not always true. So for example, if I take y is equal to e raised to 2x, what is my y1, the first derivative? 2 e raised to 2x. What is my second derivative? By chain rule. Okay, what is second derivative? 2 square e raised to 2x. What is third derivative? 2 cube e raised to 2x. In general, if you take nth derivative, it is 2 raised to n e raised to 2x. And you keep on doing. So this will never end. You will never get 0. Okay, so that is not the case that after some stage all the derivatives will be 0. For polynomial it is true, but yeah, there are functions where this is not true. Okay, so these were the simple examples and I hope this is clear. Now let's go for the general examples. General as in what? where the function will not involve some specific number. You may have any arbitrary thing, like if I modify this example for understanding purpose, if I write e raised to mx, where m is any real number, so if it's a real number, so this is this function e raised to mx. Earlier it was e raised to 2x, my m was 2. So if I replace my 2 by m, then what will I get? What is the first derivative? It is m e raised to mx. What is the second derivative? M square e raised to mx. What is the third derivative? M cube e raised to mx. What is the nth derivative? M raised to n e raised to mx. So this is what the nth derivative of an exponential function is. Yeah, this was again a simpler one. Now let's go for a complicated example. Okay, so let's go for this function. So in this case, your m is any real number, all these a and b are constants. Question is, what is the nth derivative of a function? So first we will try to write down the nth derivative, and then for special cases of a, b and m, we have a very nice formula. So we are going to do that as well. Okay, so what is the first derivative? y1. You take m at the front, ax plus b raised to m minus 1 into, by chain rule, derivative of ax plus b is a. What is y2? M. This m minus 1 will come at the front, ax plus b raised to m minus 2 into a square, because again you take the derivative of this, you again get a. So a into a is a square. You take the third derivative, m into m minus 1 will be as it is. This m minus 2 will come at the front, ax plus b raised to m minus 3 into a cube. And now I can think, you can see the pattern. So if I want to write the nth order derivative, so for y3 it was m minus 1, m minus 2, 1 less. For y2 it was m minus 1. So for yn will be m minus 1, m minus 2, you take 1 less, m minus n minus 1. Right? Because for 3 it was 2, for 2 it was 1. So for n it will be till n minus 1. Right? Into ax plus b raised to, so m minus 1, m minus 2, m minus 3. So for y3 it was m minus 3. So for yn it will be m minus n. Into, for y3 it was a cube. So this will be a raised to n. So this is the formula for the successive differentiation for this function. Okay. But now if you're, suppose in this case my m is what? Any real number. But if I restrict my m to natural number, then you can see here you have m minus 1, m minus 2, and if I do slight adjustment, I can bring factorial into the picture. Okay, so this is the formula for in general. But now suppose your m belongs to natural number, then let's try to see what nice formula do we get. So this is the function we had, and this is the formula we got. Now as I said, if you have m to be some nice number, and if you have some condition of m, n and so on, we get very nice formula. So let's play with the first case when your m is a natural number. Now what do you have? We have our yn to be m into m minus 1 into m minus 2 up to m minus n minus 2, m minus n minus 1. Right? Now we further extend this as multiply by m minus n up to 2 into 1. You multiply, divide by this thing. Okay? M minus n, then up to 3 into 2 into 1, and this whole multiplied by that thing, a raised to n, ax plus b raised to m minus n. Correct? But now what is the numerator? m minus 1 and so on up to 3 to 1. So it is nothing but m factorial. And what is this? M minus n up to 3 to 1. This is nothing but your m minus n factorial. So this is, if I write a raised to n, so this multiply by a raised to n into ax plus b raised to m minus n. So this is the formula for yn if your m is a natural number. Okay, and here also, okay, so that is one case. Now let me play with the case 2. Suppose your m is equal to n and they both are natural number. When my m is equal to n, so this is what? M minus m, which is a 0 factorial, because my m is equal to n. So 0 factorial is nothing but 1. what is my m? M is nothing but n, so n factorial an. What is m minus n? That will be 0, right? Because my m is equal to n. So therefore, when my m is equal to n, your yn is nothing but you have a raised to n into n factorial. Okay, so if you have, so this is the case when your y is ax plus b raised to n, and when I take the nth derivative of this is nothing but n factorial a raised to n. Okay, and now so you can see this is a constant, this is the constant. So if I take y n plus 1, what that will be? 0. What will be y n plus 2? That will be 0, and so on. So we have done two cases. The first case when m is a natural number. Second case when m and n both are equal, then what happens? Let's go for the third case. Now third case, now see ultimately this is a polynomial, right? When you expand this binomial expansion, you get a polynomial of degree m. So obviously when my n is bigger than m, all my yns has to be 0, as we saw the earlier first example. So it was a third degree, fourth order and onwards, all the derivatives were 0. So here when your n is bigger than m, then the derivatives has to be 0. Okay, now let's go for the case 4. Suppose your m is minus 1. Can you again give me a nice formula? Answer is yes. When your m is minus 1, what is this? 1 upon ax plus b. Then what will be my nth derivative? Minus 1. You replace m by minus 1. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 up to, what is this? Minus 1, no? So this is nothing but n, minus n, right? And this is ax plus b upon minus 1 minus n a raised to n. So what is this? This is nothing but minus is coming n times. What is n? The product of first n numbers, n factorial a raised to n upon ax plus b raised to n plus 1. So this is the formula of yn when your m is minus 1. So this is a very general nth order derivative for this function. But when we have a nice condition on m, n, a and all this thing, then we have very nice formulas. So that's the conclusion one can have from this formula. Okay, now let's go for one last example. I mean even before that, suppose now I will give you this as a homework problem. Okay, so suppose if I give you y is equal to ln of ax plus b, then you have to tell me what is the nth derivative. So what is derivative of y? It is 1 upon ax plus b, but that is nothing but m equal to minus 1 case. So the first derivative of y is nothing but here the m equal to minus 1 case. So when you find the n plus 1th derivative of this, that is nothing but the nth derivative of this, which case m equal to minus 1 case. So that's the hint I have given you. So using that hint, try to solve this question, and if you get the answer and if possible, comment in the comment section. And if you get stuck, then you can ask me your doubt as well. Now let's go on for the last example. So the function is y equals cos of ax plus b. So what will be the first derivative? Minus sine of ax plus b, and by chain rule, derivative of ax plus b is a. Now what is this again? Minus a, what is the derivative of sine? It is cos of ax plus b. By chain rule, again ax plus b has the derivative a, so a into a is a square. Derivative of cos is minus sine, so this will be a square sine of ax plus b. Again the derivative of ax plus b is a, so cube. Okay, but now if you do some nice observation, this is cos ax plus b. I can write this as cos of ax plus b plus pi by 2, right? Because cos of pi by 2, because cos of pi by 2 plus theta is minus sin theta. Similarly here I can write a square. Again I can write this as cos of ax plus b plus pi, because what is cos of pi plus theta? It is minus cos theta. But if I want to do some smart adjustment, I will write 2 into pi by 2. Okay, now again the same thing here, a cube as it is, I can write this as cos of ax plus b plus 3 pi by 2, because cos of 3 pi by 2 plus theta is sin theta. Okay, so in general I have for y3 it was this thing, so you can see now you can generalize. So for yn it will be a raised to n cos of ax plus b plus n pi by 2. This is the nth order derivative for cos of ax plus b. And my second homework for you for this lecture is you have to tell me the formula for y equal to sine of ax plus b. Well, if you can observe here, kind of you have the answer. So that's about successive differentiation. So if you have any problem on successive differentiation which you are not able to solve, you can ask me in the comment section. And yes, if everything is clear, then do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.